Come here, we did want to chat to you a little bit about as well about the new appointment at United during the week. The other one, the assistant manager, former MLS midfielder, a winner with an infectious positivity was one quote that jumped out at me from The Athletic during the week. Chris Armas, and you'd have had lots of conversations with him during his, what I think was a pretty short stint, was it, at Toronto?
Yeah, he came into Toronto. He was to New York Red Bulls. He's from the Red Bull philosophy. I think everyone will be familiar with Leipzig and obviously Salzburg, but New York here, it's a pathway and a certain style of football that they like to play. So very attack minded, very high press that, you know, Rangnick is trying to adopt, that I've heard you guys talking about over the last few weeks. So there is that relationship from Red Bull, and I'm sure that's why he's bringing him in. But no, it didn't go well here when he tried to adopt that style. I mean, he had Josie Altidore over here, and I think everyone's familiar with Josie Altidore. He's trying to play a high press with Josie Altidore. You've got no chance, have you? Let's be honest. So the game in the MLS. I mean, I was having a message, or trying to message you yesterday, is designed around the designated players here. It's quite complicated how players can be bought and sold here and brought in. Players need to be moved. If you're not one of the designated players, you've got to fit into the salary cap. So the game is designed around them, and he was trying to adapt a style here at Toronto FC that didn't suit the designated players. Alejandro Pozuelo, who was at Swansea, he didn't go quite well at Swansea, but he'd be one of the main players in the MLS over the last 3 or 4 seasons. He's not really a player that likes to go and adopt a high press. Josie Altidore, as I say, everyone's familiar with him from Sunderland and Hull. I actually played with him at Hull. And these are the players that you've got to build your team around. That's what Greg, that's what the manager before him, had in place. He had a team and a style of football that suited his designated players. Whereas Chris Armas came in at the start of last season now, as it was, and he tried to adopt this style, and it just didn't work. They were a disaster. I think it was the worst defeat in the history of the franchise. The franchise has only been there for 15 years, but they lost 7 or 8-0, I think it was.
7-0 to DC United, yeah.
7-0 to DC United, that's right, and he was fired. So he didn't have a great reputation, certainly in Toronto here, but certainly within Red Bull and within their structure, he does have a good reputation for trying to adapt this sort of style that Rangnick will start to adapt over the next few weeks and months ahead of us.
Makes him an ideal fit for United, doesn't it? He's trying to put a system in place that the players aren't having.
Well, it seems a risk. It does seem risky to me, given how wrong or how horribly it went for him here in Toronto, because it didn't go well at all for him. It really didn't, and I think his reputation certainly took a huge hit here. It took a massive dent, and I think he'd have struggled to get another MLS job. I probably believe that. So for him to get the head coaching job at United, that's one of the biggest coaching jobs in the world, as we know. I think he certainly fell on his feet from the position that he was maybe 4 or 5 months ago.
Incredible. We're out of time. Really enjoyed that, and appreciation to Shems Coleman. I think we can officially call it that.
Thanks, guys. But great to speak to you. I still listen. Yeah. I've still not forgiven either of you for certainly Owen for saying that Dublin had beat Mayo by 10 in the All Ireland semi. So I trolled him for a little bit, and he didn't take it too well.
No, I took it terribly.
I trolled you a little bit as well. You didn't take it too well, Adrian. But
I was sulking with you for a while, Kev.
Yeah, you were. You didn't like being trolled. You troll everybody else, Owen, but you don't like being trolled yourself.
Things are looking so good for Mayo for next year, Kevin. I'm sure we'll be. I'm sure it'll be all good next year.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
Jesus, good man. Listen, happy Christmas. Thanks, many for taking the call.
Happy Christmas to you all. Thanks very much. Cheers, lads.
Cheers.
Take care, Kev.